Welcome to another edition of Insurance Questions Podcast. Number 139, Don, you're not even here yet. But I do have a special guest that she's driving to Niagara University, aren't you? Is this Allie Buffalo?
I can hear you, but it's very muffled.
I wonder why. That's weird. But is that better? Because I just unplugged my thing.
Maybe you want me to try to call you.
All right. We'll be waiting here for you, Al.
Okay.
Good morning. We are actually, whoa, that was loud. This is a little bit aggressive. The reason we're doing a live show is I'm still having trouble with my internet. Good morning. This is Insurance Questions Podcast. Is this Allie Buffalo?
Yes, that's so much better.
Oh, my God. So, Al, we are waiting for Donny Lowe to get on here. Welcome to Insurance Questions Podcast number 139. Can you believe 139 already? Holy cow. And all the comments and statements by Eddie Buffalo and Allie Buffalo are purely for entertainment purposes. How's that sound, Al? Good?
Sure.
So I got to tell our audience that what I've been wanting to do for a while, and you haven't wanted to do it, is every day, it's changed now because she goes to work so early in the morning. It doesn't happen anymore. But usually I'll get a call from Al and on her way to either Niagara or to home. And it's very entertaining because she wants to kill everybody on the road. She has no patience for anybody. Right, Al?
That is not true.
I told her it's just like great entertainment that we're wasting not doing a podcast on it.
I mean, if people just learned how to drive.
Al, it's going to be freezing here. Can you ship me some hoodies and sweaters?
Why? What's the temp?
It's only going to be 97 today in Greenville, Texas.
Currently, it is 75 degrees.
Yeah, I saw that Buffalo was going up to 80 degrees today. So you kind of surprised me. Why are you done so early? Where are you going? Do you got to do something for your job or what's happening?
No, I'm going to school early because I have a meeting with some of my peers who are on an ethics committee.
Cool. Are you going to see your sister?
Probably later in the day. I texted her and she was in class for another 40 minutes and then she has tutoring at noon. So we'll see.
So Allie works for Lloyd Taco. And yesterday I was showing Becca what Buffalo Pizza looks like. And then I also showed her the place your brother works. And then a couple of videos down, what pops up, Al?
What?
You. Lloyd's Taco.
On what?
On YouTube. Just random people reviewing you. And I got to tell you, the tacos look delicious. One of them looked like, it almost looked like it was, it almost looked like a waffle. You guys, is that like breakfast tacos or what kind of taco is that?
So that's our dirty South style taco. It's our take on chicken and waffles.
Oh yeah, there was chicken in it. That's right.
Yeah, so it's fried chicken that we cut and fry in-house. Waffles, kind of similar to a pizza.
Oh, and Alice would be proud.
Just with vanilla though, not with anise. And then there's a bacon aioli and some baby kale and maple syrup.
Oh, I don't know about that. Do you like it? Are you able to eat that with your gluten allergy?
I cannot because of the fried chicken, because of the batter that we put on it. but it seems to be pretty popular.
That's good. That's really good. So how's school going? Are you liking it?
I am. I am enjoying my math classes more than I thought I was going to. And disliking some of the other classes that I'm in.
Yeah. So what do you think about this whole podcast business? I mean, I know you and your sister watch the podcast and that. What's going through your head when you see your dad doing this kind of stuff?
I mean, I think I'm just happy that you found something that you like to do and you're able to like execute it and do it.
Mm-hmm. Who's getting executed? I'm not killing anybody.
No, right.
And I keep on telling Sassy Sarah how much you're liking your accounting classes.
Okay.
She's offered to help you whenever you want, Al. So you get to talk to her too if you want.
Yay.
So I got to tell you what I just texted Donny Lowe because we're waiting on him. I thought he's usually earlier than I am. And I said, hey, I'm right now with your replacement. So he's like, oh, I'll be right there.
Listen, someone's got to do it.
I know, right? Did you eat today? I know it's kind of early for you. Did you eat anything? Because I want to make sure you eat.
I had breakfast, but I won't eat anything until after my meeting, I think.
How long do you think that's going to be?
Luckily, one of the kids has class at like 12:30 or 1, so it'll be nice and short.
Now, do you have to stay there for any more classes today?
Yes, I have a class in the afternoon.
Now, I know you're usually busy on the weekends with the other 2 jobs that you do have. This girl, check this out. She's got a full-time job. She's got a part-time job waitressing, and then she delivers flowers on the weekend and goes to school. Where did she come from? I didn't have that kind of work ethic, so she came from somebody, you know.
The world is just too expensive.
Yes. Well, you like your car, too. You have a very nice car, but it's very expensive.
Yes.
So do you have any plans for this weekend?
I work all day on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then tomorrow when I get out of work, I'm just going to use the evening and night to do some errands and get settled. And then Sunday, I will spend the day doing homework and then relax, hopefully.
Hang on one second, Al. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage the one, the only, the Donny Lowe. Woo!
Good morning.
And just so everybody knows, the comments and statements by Donny Lowe, Eddie Buffalo, and Allie Buffalo are purely for entertainment.
Awesome.
So say your thing, Donny, like you always do.
I wasn't sure if you said it or not. Please go to wherever you view or listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, share, hit that fan mail button so that Eddie B can get some of your emails. Mm-hmm. TikTokers. Eddie loves TikTok, so communicate with Eddie that way, correspond. And again, we really we appreciate all your views but really the questions that you come up with, we really enjoy, or the statements and comments too. So keep them coming. Thank you.
Donny, ask Gail where she's going.
Where are you heading to, Allie?
School.
I know, but what are you going to do there? What type of group is that?
It's an ethics committee.
Ooh.
Ethics. So maybe that's something you need, Donny.
Yeah, I probably do. I think we all can use a good little ethics updates, right?
Yeah. Well, we're right in the middle of September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And Donny's got a lot of serious things to talk about, but I want to start off with something interesting. I gave him a little bit of tease this morning. Al's a big music person too, and she actually was a singer at Performing Arts.
Oh, I didn't know
I mean,
that.
I'm still a singer.
I know. She tries to be as good as me singing, but I can't help it. I got all the talent in the family, right, Al?
Yeah, obviously.
Avi. So, do you like Dropkick Murphys, Al?
Depends on. I feel like they have a time and a place.
Do you know
Is that
who?
time? I was to say, is the time and place when the Buffalo Sabres score a goal or something? Or
Yeah, right. Right. So, how about Woody Guthrie? Do you know who that is when you did your music theory and things like that in school?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't think I know any of his work off the top of my head.
Well, a lot of times when I'm working during the day, I have YouTube on the big screen and I'm listening to different things. And the past couple albums that Dropkick has done have been Woody Guthrie albums. And I'm like, I don't know who he is. The music is like,
you didn't
So,
know you didn't know
I'm
who Woody
working.
Guthrie is either?
No, I didn't. I knew the name, but that was it. So
Wow.
they had a special on YouTube of why they're doing Woody Guthrie songs. And it turns out that Woody Guthrie's daughter, Al, when her son was a teenager, he had like all these Dropkick Murphy posters on his wall, first two albums, and she started listening to him, and she's like, my dad would have liked these guys. So they got in contact with Dropkick, gave them access to the archives in New York City, Woody Guthrie's archives, and there's like hundreds of thousands. It's just huge. And it's funny because they were saying they have to wear gloves when they're touching this stuff. Because, this is stuff that he wrote on napkins, on paper, things like that.
Oh, so cool.
And she would only let them have access, and anybody that they work with have access to them if they agreed to smell the paper.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What was the reason?
Because wherever her dad was writing that day, there was like rings from his coffee, food on it, and things like that, trying to get you into what he was thinking of.
Yeah.
And so their hugest hit, shipping off to Boston. Whoa. Those lyrics are Woody Guthrie lyrics.
Wow.
Oh.
So even though I said I don't know who Woody Guthrie is and I don't really, care to, I guess I do like Woody Guthrie because most of the newer Dropkick Murphy lyrics are Woody Guthrie songs. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is very interesting.
I know you're a music geek like me, Donny.
Yeah, he was a very prominent folk singer. If you listen to the lyrics of a lot of his songs, it's really about. He was kind of American socialist, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like a lot of protest songs on these last couple albums.
Yeah. So like one of his most famous songs, and Allie, I'm sure you've heard this, is "This Land Is Your Land." This land is your land. This land is my land.
Have you heard that song, Al? I know Donnie's killing it with his voice.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I try not to sing.
I don't think so.
Hey, Al, how much was gas this morning? Did you see at a gas station?
Yesterday I paid $3.50.
$2.44 this morning in Greenville, Texas.
Wow, $1 a gallon less.
But I did just see on the reservation that it was $3.19.
Ooh, still, that's brutal.
It's crazy.
Compared to $3.50, I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, like we were talking, the whole election thing. Okay, speaking of ethics, Don.
Okay.
I have a question for you. Put your insurance annuity person hat on. Okay, I had a gentleman, Al, come up to me this morning. Eddie, you sell them annuity things, right? I go, yeah. He goes, can I do like 300 grand? I'm like, sure. When do you want to meet? He goes, just let me, if you want to meet today, maybe we can, I'll go to probably under his mattress. and I'll get the 300 grand for you. Why can I not sell this man insurance, Al? I mean, an annuity, Al. Remember, he wants to give me 300 grand cash. Fantastic. I'm going to make money. He's going to make money. Everybody's happy. Why can't I do it, Al?
You don't know his medical history.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Remember the key to this, Al. He's giving me cash, not a check, not a banker's check, not a wire transfer. He wants to give me money.
Well, there's no contract, number one.
No, you're missing something. And it's something to do with what you're doing, going to that meeting about ethics.
Okay, I don't know. Just tell me.
Wouldn't that be a great podcast with her being angry at drivers like that? Like she's angry with me right now.
You know, the scary thing is she sounds just like you. Just tell me.
Oh, is that a compliment or a put down, Al? Donnie said you sound like me.
Well, I did come from you, so.
You did. So, Donnie, tell Allie and the rest of our viewers why I can't take that gentleman's $300,000 of cash.
Because we are not, insurance companies do not and are not allowed to accept cash as
that,
payments for any type of insurance or annuity product. Because it has to be a verified source as to where the money is coming from. And
because what do we have to take? What course do we always have to take at once a year, Don?
Anti-money laundering.
So if you're looking to stash some cash, we're not the people to see.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what the deal is with the whole $300,000 thing. A kid that I went to high school with, nice kid, my age, and he restored cars and sold classic cars, and he found out what I did, and I came up to his house, and he goes, "Yeah, I want to do 300 grand, Eddie." I'm like, "Oh, fantastic. No, let me get the paperwork started. Yeah, let me go get it." He had 300 grand in a shoebox. I'm like, dude, I can't take this. Why? It's money. Why wouldn't you take it? He was really upset with me that I couldn't take the cash,
Yeah. You have to blame the insurance companies, blame the government.
So many people don't want a paper trail. And when you're buying an annuity, they look at everything. Actually, Ellie, they look to see that we're not taking advantage of the person giving us this money, making sure we're not taking all their money and leaving them with nothing just to make a sale.
Yeah,
Does that make sense, Al?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I thought that you would find that interesting. Oh, and by the way, it wasn't Ike. Ike, good luck tomorrow on your surgery, buddy. He's a loyal listener of the show. Why? I don't know, because he listens to me at the gym too, and I don't think anybody likes listening to me at the gym. So, all right, Al, I'm going to let Donnie talk about what he said he wanted to talk about. Are you at school yet?
I just got here, so.
I'm going to let you go?
Yeah.
All right, well, listen. Good luck on your ethics class.
Yes, good luck.
Be very ethical. And since you deal with people all the time, I don't want to do it because I really like Donnie. Can you tell him that you're taking over the podcast spot of his and that he's fired right now?
Nope.
Come on, Al.
Thanks.
All right,
you mean I'm not going to get fired today? Oh, man.
Not today. There's always tomorrow. All right, Al. Love ya. And be careful out there. And I'll talk to you on your way home. Okay, babe?
Buddy.
Babe. I said babe. It came out wrong. Hey, You're my buddy. You're my babe. You're my friend. You're my pal. You're my concert buddy. I was going to tell the Guns N' Roses story, but I've told that already. Dad, who is that guy? I got the same guy you heard before, honey. So, all right, honey, you have a good day. Say hi to Kate if you see her.
I will. I'll talk to you later.
All right, babe.
Bye, Ellie.
Bye. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Oh, so just so everybody can see this, I was texting Donnie when I came on. I only went on early, Don, because she was on the phone calling me. Like, hey, you want to be on the show? So I want you to look at Donnie's text. It's not your phone number, so they can't see that.
It's hard to read. Oh boy,
says,
I'll be right there.
I said I am now with your replacement. Oh boy, I'll be right there, Donny writes. No replacement for you, Donny. You're awesome. Now, Sassy Sarah, that's another story. We're taking applications. So call me at 716-541-4118 or Eddie Bednar's Insurance at gmail.com. We are taking applications for replacement for Sassy Sarah.
There you go.
Hey, every time she misses a show, we give her a hard time. So I'm sure she's going to love that.
Yeah, I think you want to change the Insurance Questions podcast number 139 to Potluck Thursday, or no?
Oh, I could add it.
You could add it.
Go ahead.
All right. I was going to say, I thought we'd start off with some just general news, I guess you could say. That's things that have been floating around since yesterday, what's been going on in the world, and then we'll get into some other somewhat lighter topics.
So I got to tell the viewers, and you can only see it if you look at the YouTube listing of yesterday's live show. So we just threw that live show together because we had another one, but like I said, we're still having trouble with uploading. So we just figured to get the content out, we would do a live show. And so me being the wise guy that I am, on the first screen when we're setting it up, I wrote, "Hi, Donny," which everybody sees. That's the title of the video yesterday. And under the description, it says, "Donny, you're so sexy." And I forgot I did that because we were just going to do a marketing meeting. I didn't think it was going to be out there for the whole world because I changed what we say on the screen now, and I just figured it would automatically. But mistakes were made, Don. Mistakes were made.
Can't go back.
All right,
now.
Tell us what you want to talk about, Don. I'm going to shut up.
Well, and we talked briefly, just very briefly about this, but how wild was it, when you first heard the news yesterday that all these pagers were blowing up that were owned by Hezbollah members in Lebanon?
When you texted me, I'm like, there's no way. How the hell did they do that? But there was a way.
There was a way. So I guess, to talk about what happened yesterday, and Israel, they're not making any comments at all. They're not refuting, they're not acknowledging, they're just not making any comments. But evidently,
there's a lot of bad jokes about it, and it's not funny. People are
no,
hurt,
it isn't. It isn't.
It really isn't funny.
But so what Israel did was they set up a shell company, supposedly, which is for the pager company. And then when they got this order in for the pagers, they intercepted the order. They inserted about a little bit about like 1.5 ounces or 1 3/4 ounces of explosives.
For Christ's sakes.
It is James Bond stuff. And so they've been in use for like about 2 months or so. And so yesterday they just kind of set off, whatever the signal was. They set off the signal. So every Hezbollah member that has this pager, it blew up in their hands, in their pocket, on their belt, or if they had it on a shelf or whatever.
They said a lot of them had their privates blown off because it was.
I know, and I believe it was 3 or 4 people were killed. Over 1,000 were injured.
I said, I thought it was baloney when you texted me that. I'm like, there's no way. And then I saw it on all the different news outlets.
I know, it was just wild. So what the goal was to interfere with the communication, number one, of the Hezbollah, because they stopped using their cell phones because the cell phones could be tracked. So not only did they blow up all the pagers, they then blew up the walkie-talkies. I didn't see that. Yeah, I don't know how they got into that, but I mean, talk about James Bond stuff. That's unbelievable.
Well, you got to think though. I mean, what I thought of right away, like a lot of the conspiracy people are out on YouTube heavy yesterday. saying that, oh, it could happen to Americans. I mean, everybody's cell phone and everything. And I don't know if you've seen any videos of a lithium ion either getting smushed or blow up. Those things are nasty, and that's what's
Oh
in
yeah.
everybody. That's what's in everybody's phone.
Well,
You know,
and computers, like
Mhm.
laptops, and that's why
I didn't even think of that, Don.
you're not allowed to have carry-on luggage with
I mean,
lithium-ion batteries.
I wonder if they could like send an email to your cell phone, not to your cell phone, yeah, to your cell phone or your laptop to do something to it. It's so scary to even think of this stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's wild, but there's a history, obviously with Lebanon and Israel, and this kind of started back. You were way too young, Ed, but the 1972 Olympics in Munich.
I
Yeah,
remember watching that on TV, Don, believe
yeah.
it or
So the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, um, took hostage and killed 11 Israeli Olympians. So one of the things that Israel did was, it was a few years later,
Donnie,
they
was that the Winter Olympics or the Summer Games? I can't remember that. Was
summer
summer?
games in Munich. Yeah,
Wasn't there a skier that got shot in one of the Olympics too?
I think you're right, but I don't remember who it was and
Hmm.
where it was.
Okay, sorry
Um,
about that.
no, 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 that's fine. But so a few years later, for revenge, Israel planted a bomb on like the PLO, one of the PLO leaders, in his house in Paris. And so it was planted there. They broke in somehow. They planted this bomb, and they just waited a couple months. And so then what they did was they had somebody call and say, it's an Italian. They said it was an Italian journalist that wants to do an interview with this person. And so when it was confirmed that it was the person on the phone, to do the telephone interview, and they knew it was that PLO leader, they detonated the bomb somehow from his phone and killed him. It's it's
It's insane. It
it
really
is
is.
insane. So there's basically there's obviously been a history of this, but I think this is just taken on unbelievable.
Well,
I mean,
like we said, I mean, every time we think we've seen everything, something else comes along, and you hate to say it, but if you are a victim of this, hopefully you have life insurance and takes care of your family. You
yeah,
know,
no, that's
it sounds so yucky saying that.
I
I
know
feel
it does.
dummy saying it, but it's the truth. I mean, life is so fragile. You never know when it's your
Oh
time.
my goodness, I know.
We
So
never, no one makes it out alive, Don.
no, that's so true. But so really, the PLO and in retaliation of Israel killing the PLO leader, the PLO went into Israel with 4 suicide bombers, killing dozens of Israelis. It's crazy, just absolutely crazy. It's
It's
just, but it,
insane.
it is like it could be from a James Bond movie. It's just so wild.
It's just crazy, you know.
So
You know.
on a slightly lighter note, but there's
Oh,
still
how'd you do on pickleball the other night? Did you do good on pickleball?
no. I didn't play pickleball.
Does Adidas have pickleball paddles for you
I
when we
don't
get the
know.
sponsorship?
I don't know. I don't think so because they don't have Adidas tennis rackets.
Really? You think they would? You know.
They've got the tennis shoes. They have the tennis
Who
outfits.
who is the biggest like sponsorship wise and like apparel wise and racket wise tennis? Because I know anything about tennis.
Well, I guess racket wise,
Head,
there's Wilson has good rackets. Wilson is probably bigger, I think. Bob a lot. Those are
but I mean,
probably
how has the racket changed since you started playing? Uh, I mean, they're so super light, right?
yeah, they are very light. The older rackets were made of wood, and then the big thing after wood was they came out with the aluminum racket. If you remember that.
Yep.
lighter, more power.
I
But
played
now
tennis a couple times when I was a kid. I hated it. I was a fat kid, so I couldn't do anything like that.
but now the rackets are like a fiberglass, almost more of a composite material. They're strong. They're light. Like an average racket is
Yeah.
without the strings is around 9 ounces.
My son played every sport imaginable, but he stuck with lacrosse for quite a bit. And every time I would see, a player's stick get broken, it's like, oh, there's $150, there's $200, Thank God it wasn't my son, Or even when Kate was playing softball, like I think I mentioned once before, it was nothing for it to cost $200 to $500 for a bat that you're going to be hitting a ball with. It just blows me away.
It's crazy. Even hockey sticks.
Oh yeah.
We used to have the old solid wood hockey sticks. Then they went with a fiberglass shaft or blade, and now they're it's crazy. Just crazy.
It's nuts.
They're so expensive, and I mean, if you watch an NHL game, you see somebody takes a slap shot. Oh, the stick broke in half. It's crazy. But they get so much flex on it, so it gives them more power.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, crazy stuff.
What else you got for us on your show, Don?
Yeah, so I came across this yesterday. Yesterday it was actually 54 years ago. No, yeah, 54 years ago that Jimi Hendrix passed away.
Really?
Yeah, so it was, September 18th of 1970. And I started thinking, I said, wow, I wonder how many people, if you ever heard of the 27 Club. It's pretty much, like
crazy
musicians or famous rock stars that passed away when they were age 27. So I was just, out of curiosity doing a little research, and I was looking it up.
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah. Oh, so you're ruining the whole thing here.
All right.
So, you tend to think, well, maybe it was Jimi Hendrix was the first 27-year-old rock star to pass away, but he wasn't. The first rock star passed away a year prior.
Who was it?
It was Brian Jones of the Rolling Stones.
Really? How did he die?
I'm not sure if it was suicide or not. Wait, I'm not allowed to say that word. I'm not sure if it was self-inflicted.
It's too late. You said it, Don, and we're live.
Self-inflicted.
Great.
I'm not sure.
You know what?
You
and Sarah must think all I have to do every day is just get bombed with emails of stuff that you guys say. You think it would be me? You do. You think I would say something?
I don't know. I can't remember.
As long as I don't say the C word, I'm good.
All right. Listen. So anyway, interesting facts.
Lord help me.
So here's some interesting facts that you may or may not know about Brian Jones. Number one, Brian Jones was the founder of the Rolling Stones.
Really?
He had a small band, a 3-piece band, and I think maybe they kind of disbanded, and he put an ad in a London local paper looking for a guitarist and a singer.
That's great.
And that's how Keith Richards and Mick Jones. Yeah.
And Keith Richards, is he older than you?
Isn't that amazing? Somebody's older than me.
I know, right?
And he looks it too, doesn't he? Oh my gosh.
Hey, still sucking air, probably smoking a cigarette.
I know. So he was the original founder, and then when Keith Richards and Mick Jagger took lead of the music and the writing, so they kind of almost replaced Brian Jones. But did you know that Brian Jones was on a Beatles song? He played on a Beatles song.
Really? I didn't know that. What song was it? Was it a song of note?
Probably not, but it was a song. It was a B-side song, only released on a B-side of a single release. It was not on an album, unless it's on one of the later, anthology albums.
Mm-hmm.
You Know My Name is the name of the
I
song.
don't know that one.
It's a silly, goofy song, which I just think it's fantastic. But so he was friends with, it might have been, I can't remember if it was George Harrison or Ringo Starr, invited him in to play on a song. And so they're expecting Brian Jones to come in with a guitar. He came in with a saxophone.
Really?
And he
It's odd.
played on this song, and it took the Beatles like 3 years to really complete the song. It was just kind of laying there. They would work on it and go back to doing other stuff. So they actually released the song after Brian Jones had passed.
Wow, that's
Which is,
crazy.
which is pretty wild.
And what did you say he died from, Don?
I'm not sure if it was if he drowned in a pool. I can't remember.
I mean, Jim Morrison died in a bathtub.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about Jim Morrison. So Brian Jones passed away on July 3rd of 1969. Jim Morrison passed away on July 3rd, 1971.
That's crazy.
And here's another interesting fact. At the age of 27, and Jim Morrison's girlfriend, Pamela Corson, who found Jim Morrison in the bathtub, she also passed away a few years later when she was 27 years old.
That's crazy. The
Isn't
whole
that
27
wild?
thing just blows me away.
Yeah. So so you mentioned Amy Winehouse, 27 when she passed. Kurt Cobain passed away when he was 27 in 1994.
He took his own life, though.
Yeah, he did. He did. You ever heard the band Badfinger?
Mm-hmm.
So one of their lead singers, Pete Ham, he took his life at age 27 as well. Pat Tillman, Pat Tillman,
Mm-hmm.
veteran, former NFL.
He was a musician.
Right, but I just,
He played for the Cardinals, didn't he?
Yes. He was also 27 years old. Janis Joplin. She passed away less than a month after
She
Jimi
had an amazing
Hendrix.
voice.
Yeah. Oh, she was phenomenal. Phenomenal voice. In 1970, she was 27. Now, here's something you probably would not know. King Charles VIII of France
No, I don't know that one.
passed away when he was 27 years old, back in the 1500s, I think it was.
This is crazy, Don. So I was curious, and I did, famous musicians that passed away at 27. And you said Kurt Cobain.
Mm-hmm.
How ironic that Courtney Love's band Hole, her bassist died at 27.
Oh, what was her name?
Kristen
Pfaff? Okay.
Pfaff.
Do you know where she's from?
I don't think
Without looking?
Oh, Jesus. I didn't know that, but
Buffalo,
I know
New
exactly.
York.
You can say it, Don, because I'm reading it right now.
Buffalo, New York.
She didn't go to college there, though.
That I'm not sure of.
University of Minnesota.
I didn't realize that she was in Courtney Love's band.
I didn't know that either. Like, there's other ones listed that were in, like, there's your Pete Ham. He's like number 12. They did like 15 famous one.
Yeah.
The guy from the Stooges, he died at 27.
Who was 27 when he died?
Who?
Yeah, which one?
From where? The one I just said? The Stooges?
Stooges?
Dave Alexander.
Oh.
And a guy from that old doo-wop group. Under the boardwalk. Rudy Lewis from the Drifters died when he was 27.
Wow.
And shocker, somebody from the Grateful Dead died when they were 27.
Oh,
Because
really?
they were such a healthy bunch of fellas.
I know.
No.
Crazy.
It is really funny because 1985. It was my first year in college. And my friend Jeff and Steve, they were from Forest Hills, Queens. And they're like, oh, Grateful Dead's playing Rich Stadium. Do you mind if we stay at your house? I'm like, I don't care. My mom passed away already, and it was just me and my dad. So I'm like, sure. And they get there, and they're like, dude, oh, we thought we'd surprise you. We got you a ticket, too. I'm like, So I got to tell you, if nobody's ever gone to a Grateful Dead concert in their heyday, you really missed a show. Because the show in the parking lot was just as interesting as the show on stage. I'm looking around, and everybody's getting hammered at that early in the morning, and it was hot as heck. I think I was the most drunk and most sunburned I ever was in my life. Like, there's a young couple walking around the parking lot. I'm like, am I seeing things? She had a raccoon on her shoulder. Not a fake raccoon, a real raccoon.
Oh my God.
And so, how they used to wear those like hippie skirts, the girls?
Yeah.
Well, behind us, I'm not going to say the chick word, which I almost did.
You just did.
There was 2 young ladies dancing behind us, cute little girls, right? I looked over, I'm like, ugh. They had more hair on their legs than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Like, so like I said, the main band was the Grateful Dead, which I could care less for. I'm sorry if there's haters out there, but it's just not my thing. And
I've never seen them.
And who opened for them, Don, was Bob Dylan.
Really?
Yes. Oh,
so
it gets better. It gets better.
I remember hearing about the concert. I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about that.
Was Bob Dylan's backup band for that show?
Not the band, was it?
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
You're serious?
Wow. It's a fantastic show.
What
I'm glad
year?
I experienced it. I'm still not a huge fan, but because my buddy Jeff, he just loved Bob Dylan. I love him. I'm like, what the hell's that dude saying? Something wrong with him?
Well, you know what? I mean, his early stuff, he had such a fantastic voice.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in a real bad car accident. And he almost lost his voice totally. And I think that's what happened.
Jeez, it's just.
So God, Tom Petty was Bob Dylan's band.
Yeah.
That's wild. What year was this at? Do you remember?
85.
Oh, wow. So that's just when did the Traveling Wilburys formed? 86?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not that sure.
Wow.
That was a fun band too.
Oh,
so I gotta tell you another Bob Dylan story. And I'm kind of taking over your show, Don.
No.
It's worth saying it. And I do not condone this type of behavior for any young woman or young man out there. But this is what I did to learn from Eddie Buffalo's mistakes.
There you go.
So, same guy, Jeff's like, dude, Bob Dylan's showing up at this little bar in Greenwich Village. Let's go. So once again, the Three Stooges, me, Jeff, and Steve, we went to this place called the Back Fence. And you remember the ground round, Don, where you threw the peanuts on the floor? It was this kind of place, but it was a little bar. And that night, they had $1 frosty mugs of beer. And so
trouble.
Now, you always know you're from Buffalo is if you leave your money on the bar, because nobody does that except us.
Yeah.
It's just a Buffalo thing. So I said, I'll get the first round. So I go up there, my $20, my fake ID, Hey, can I get 3 beers? I go, here you go. She goes, oh, no, honey, tab. I'm like, I don't want tab. I want beers. She goes, no, honey, you pay at the end. We put it on your tab and then you pay at the end. Okay.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out, Don. There was 3 of us, and it was $1 frosty mugs of beer, and our bill came to $99. The next day, I was so sick. At one point, those peanuts on the table, I was eating them shell and all because I was vomiting shells.
Oh, my God. So that $99 tab was legitimate?
It was legit.
Oh my
It
God.
was legit. Yes. And the next day we had tickets for the Staten Island Ferry because they were you couldn't go to Liberty Island to see the Statue of Liberty because they were working on her, and maybe they're doing her nails or something. I don't know, one of those things. And to this day, I'm still leery on boats because I was so flippin' hungover.
Oh, I can't.
And I was
Oh,
so seasick. It was just
your
man.
face had to be as blue as your shirt is.
It was awful. But I spent the summer of '85 a whole month in New York City, and I tell you, if you're young enough to do it and you got the money to do it, do it. I mean, you see stuff there that, well, especially then before Disney came into Times Square. I saw Times Square when Times Square was Times Square. I saw stuff that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
Yes, that explains some of it.
It's funny because you got to see this show, and I'm not going to tell you what the show is about. It was in Times Square because it haunts me to this day. And I look over, who do you think's standing next to me, Don? This is going back in the Wayback Machine. Nobody's going to know who this is except old people like us. Nipsey freaking Russell.
What show was this?
Oh, no, I can't talk about that show.
Oh, okay.
For sure. Yes. I'll tell you off the air because it'll give you nightmares like I have to live.
No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want Nipsey Russell. Oh my God, that is a blast from the past.
And that's what's odd when you go to big cities. I mean, like I said, I spent a month there. I lived in Boston for 3 years, and now I'm in Dallas. But Dallas is so big. I mean, like I said, I never even heard the term Metroplex.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Very
that's
interesting.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's
what the hell were we talking about? Because this went all different directions today.
Well, at famous rock stars that passed away at age 27. The 27 Club.
It's so odd that happened like that.
I know.
I thought there was more. Wasn't Buddy Holly 27?
I don't think so. I think he was younger. I think it was
How old was
23?
Buddy Holly when he died?
I'm saying 23.
Oh, you're so close, Don. 22.
22. Okay. Do you know how old Richie Valens was when he passed away in that plane crash with Buddy Holly?
Holy crap, Don! Buddy Holly shares my birthday, September 7th.
Oh, really?
Oh, I would say that Richie Valens was even younger.
He was, I believe, 18 years old.
How old was Richie Valens when he died? How old was Richie Valens when he passed away? Oh, even younger, Don. He was only 17. He was a baby.
Oh, 17. Okay, yeah. Isn't that crazy? And he had...
What's his real name? What's his real name?
Richie Valenzuela.
What's his middle name? I'm impressed that you knew that.
I don't know his middle name.
Steven. So okay. You suck, Don. You suck. It's funny. There was I like watching old movies. Well, when I say old movies, like Sarah, stuff from the 90s.
Yeah, she's even saying stuff from 2005.
Yeah.
That's an old movie.
Was big on music. He introduced me to a lot of different music, and I don't know if you remember this movie because you can't find it anywhere. I found it. Somebody actually put a copy of a VHS tape up on YouTube.
Oh, really?
American Hot Wax.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I think I heard of it, but
It's basically the story about the disc jockey that coined the phrase rock and roll, Alan Freed.
Oh, really? He was out of Philadelphia, right?
Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland?
Mm-hmm. So, and it's funny when looking back, I think it was made in 1977 or 78. And Fran Drescher was in it, a very young Fran Drescher.
Wow.
A very young Jay Leno.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the real singers were in it. Oh. Jerry Lee Lewis, the real Jerry Lee Lewis was in it.
How cool.
I can't think of his name. My Dingaling guy. Who's that?
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry was in it, and he put on a hell of a performance on this show. So if you get a chance to look for American Hot Wax on YouTube, it's definitely something you want to check out. Go to the third listing, because that's usually the better of the three that they got posted.
Oh, okay. I'll have to do that.
Give it. Cool. I think you really dig it, Don. And like I said, you can't find it. But what was really crazy about it? I remember hearing about payola. So Don, I got this fantastic album. Hey, you play it for me? I'm gonna give you a little bit of money. You know, that's what he got busted on.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's
so
wild.
This big rock and roll, his first anniversary rock and roll show that they had in Cleveland. He got fired and taken off the air, and 5 years later, he died penniless in Florida.
Really?
No one would touch this guy.
Wow.
Because he was dirty. You know, I'm sure back then he didn't think he was doing anything because it was so new. You know. But yeah, Don, I got this. I want to hear you. I'd like to hear this single from Allie Buffalo. It's fantastic. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Here's a little something for you. Put it on at least 4 times on your show. You know.
Yeah. Talk about record promoter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy. I think the first. I don't know if you ever saw this. I think it was called. It might have been just called Rock Around the Clock.
I remember that name, but I don't remember that movie. I'm sure I've seen it, though.
Well, that's a song.
Oh, I know that. Bill Haley in the Comets.
Right, but I think that was the name of the movie, and they featured Bill Haley in the comics on the movie.
See, that is really neat, you know?
Yeah, and that's like the first rock and roll show or movie or whatever to introduce that music to a lot of people. It's pretty wild.
Well, even like so many movies that came out in the last like 20, 30 years. I mean, there's a movie that you don't hear about very much. It's called The Light of Day. And it was a young Michael J. Fox in a band. And the other person that was in the band was Joan Jett, the real Joan Jett.
Oh, you know what? I think I may have seen that. I didn't remember the name of the movie, but I remember seeing Michael J. Fox and Joan Jett.
Or I mean, even like stuff that you don't even think about. Like I wasn't introduced to Rocky Horror until later in life, which I'm really bummed that I've never gone to a theater for all the craziness. I would have loved to, but everybody knows these words. Even then, you don't think you know it. You know it. You know, that's what's crazy. You know, like I started listening to Yacht Rock on Sirius XM. And it's like, how do I know all these words? You know, it's like, I don't even know the name of the band, but I know the words.
I know, that's me. Or I know some of them.
Anyway. When I saw it, I'm like, that's stupid. I don't want to watch Yacht Rock. Who wants to watch that? I can see why it's attractive, and you can have it playing in the background, and you're like, oh, yeah, you find yourself singing along like that. And I'm like, how do I know these words?
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think they're doing one at the Riviera Theater.
No kidding. Have you ever gone?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Is it crazy?
Yeah, it is.
Did you dress up?
No, I didn't dress up.
Did you bring anything to throw?
No.
Toast, rice. Do you have a squirt gun? Do you have an umbrella?
I didn't have anything.
That's crazy.
So that was probably because I heard a little about it from friends.
But people must have been dressed up.
Yeah, I'll go. But it's like, wow, toilet paper.
Were people dressed up?
Yeah, it was crazy. Just crazy.
And the only thing I can compare it to is like when my son was younger, I used to take him to like that's when Marvel was starting to get big. And we would order Star Wars movies, and we would dress up for the midnight showing, the first showing of it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's cool because it's an experience, hopefully, that he remembers. I mean, there's so many people that were dressed up. I mean, even if they weren't dressed up, they had like a T-shirt of like a Star Wars or whatever. I think what was the first big movie, Iron Man. I remember even seeing the crappy movies. Like, I don't mean to. I just didn't think I like Ghost Rider with Nick Cage. It's like that's just Nick Cage on a motorcycle. And that boy's been in so many movies. It's like every generation has a bunch of people that it seems like they're in every freaking movie.
I know.
Like
It seems
Gene
like
Hackman
it.
was almost in every movie. I mean, the old Prospector in Blazing Saddles, that was Gene Hackman.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like what?
I just saw something, an interesting article, because you mentioned Gene Hackman, but about Dustin Hoffman, how he was he when he got the role in his first big movie,
The Graduate.
The Graduate. Thank you.
I've never seen it done.
Oh, really?
I
So
got
Anne Bancroft was the female lead,
Mel Brooks' wife.
Mel Brooks' wife, right?
What a
But did you?
combination! I would never expect that one.
Oh, I know. But at the time, Dustin Hoffman, Robert Duvall, and Gene Hackman were roommates in New York City.
I think I read something about that. I didn't
It's like,
remember all the
wow,
names.
they're all broke and just trying to, get something,
Who knew? Who knew?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
That's nuts.
Yeah. You talk about Mel Brooks. How about Spaceballs?
They're making a new one.
Are they really?
Well, it's funny because at the end of the movie, it says, coming soon, Spaceballs 2, the search for more money. And that's what they're calling it. And like he's just like he's getting really up there, so he's just like an executive producer.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember if it said Josh Gad kid, I think that's doing it.
I don't.
But
I
he
have no
was
idea.
you know who it is because you've got grandkids. He was the snowman in Frozen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
like you might if
It was
you see his
Olaf.
face,
Olaf.
yeah, you'll know
Okay.
you know who he is.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah. It's funny because when I first moved to Texas, I was staying with my daughter, and I had my grandkids too, and so I would let them use my YouTube account, and like I'll laugh to myself every morning. I'll be on YouTube Music, and it'll say new releases, and not only do I see new releases, but I also see kids' new releases. Still,
Frozen 2.
To this day, it's like, oh my god,
Funny.
I just laugh when I see that.
I know. That's funny. Well, we're approaching that magic time.
I know. I'm just looking to see who texted me. Interesting show, Don. It was definitely a potluck day. Definitely, we learned a little bit about each other's past and what we liked.
James Bond stuff.
James Bond stuff. Well, I was a little bit gun shy when you said you wanted to talk about the pagers explode. I'm like, because we try so much to stay away from politics and religion on our show because those are two things I was always told not to talk about.
Yeah.
Which it's got to be a big lie because you look on YouTube, they're always talking about politics and religion. I was watching something last night. I'm like, why am I watching this? But I was watching it,
I know.
But it was really cool to see I was getting really hungry last night watching all the buffalo pizza and the buffalo chicken wings. It's like, I missed that,
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much the prices have gone up on a pizza and wings in Buffalo after the pandemic.
Yeah.
A place by me to get a double order of wings and a pizza is $75.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
But I would pay that right now if I could have that pizza right here in Texas. Because, sorry, Texans, your pizza sucked.
Uh-oh. Here come the comments.
Go to friggin' Walmart, get a frozen pizza and doctor it up, and buy any of these around me. Sorry.
Here come the oh my God, they're already bombarding you. I can see it.
I don't care. You know what? If it sucks, it sucks. I don't know what to tell you. But it's funny because now Becca's from Chicago, and so I was watching videos on Chicago style pizza. How the hell do they eat those things? They're so thick.
Yeah, that's what they're known for, right?
Like there's I forget the name of the girl. It's like Katrina Kilos or Cat Kilos or whatever, and she's a bodybuilder, but she's also an eater. Like she'll do all those challenges. And the one I was watching the other day, she was eating 2 kilos worth of pizza from a Chicago style pizzeria.
Oh my gosh.
And French fries. But you know what she had? She had trouble with that. The liter of beer. She saved that for last. I thought this girl was gonna die. You know, because she's a tiny little thing. I don't know how she puts all this in her body.
Yeah,
You
really.
know,
That's
but
crazy.
it is.
And a
All right,
bodybuilder eating that good food, you know?
I know, right? Well, if you like telling stories and working with people that are just like you, we're the people to see. 716 is the hotline. You can email me at eddiebiddnersinsurance@gmail.com, and our website's www.ebiagency.com. It was a great show, Don. I hope everybody enjoys it as much as we did
Yeah,
going down
exactly.
memory lane. So now I got to ask you, now, when did you come up with this idea? Was it this morning? Was it yesterday? Because I know you struggle with this a little bit on the Thursday show.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so you got a whole week to think about what the next show is going to be about that.
Well, I try to keep it timely on what's happening in the world, you know. And what triggered me for the 27 was, as I mentioned, yesterday was the 54th anniversary of Jimi Hendrix passing.
Nuts.
And I thought,
That's
oh, the 27 Club.
You know, somebody from Buffalo posted that he went to a show of Jimi Hendrix. I want to say it was Billy, but I was just looking through his thing and I couldn't find it.
Mm.
So it was definitely somebody from Buffalo. It might have been, I don't know who it was, but if I find it, I'll post it on TikTok so
I
people
think I
can
saw
see.
something too about that.
Right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
they actually saw Jimi Hendrix. He was in another band.
Yeah.
He wasn't even like the Jimi Hendrix at that time, but he said
It
he
was
used
like
to,
in 65 or 66.
something like that.
Something like
Yeah.
yeah.
He got paid the most at Woodstock. Did you know that? Did you ever see the listing of how much all these bands got paid?
A long time ago, but I couldn't
He got
remember.
paid like 15 grand
Wow.
at Woodstock. Imagine if they did that today.
They,
Have you ever personally been to Bethel?
no.
I have a bunch of times
Oh, really?
because our convention was usually in the Catskills.
Oh, okay.
And it was only 8 miles away, so I went every time. Saw the rock at the bottom of the hill, and just picturing all those people had to be ridiculous. Like when you're driving through, there's all these little pieces of water and everything, and I'm like, wow, I bet you all these hippies were taking their baths in this water and everything like that, and pooping wherever they wanted to do,
Oh, yeah.
But
I remember. We should talk about Woodstock another show.
yeah. So, folks, like I always say, life's worth living. Be good to yourself, So for your buddy Eddie Buffalo, Allie Buffalo, I forgot that she was on for a short time. And the one, the only, the Donny. You got a lot of these in your name now. I know it's the first time I've noticed that. Yeah, so. Is that technically talking about yourself in the third person the way he writes it? Maybe.
Maybe.
So everybody have a wonderful day. I don't know if we're doing a show tomorrow, but if we do, well, we'll see you then. If not,
That's right.
Tune in Tuesday for Sassy Sarah's tax tips. All right. Take care, everyone.
Ciao, everyone.
Bye.